You know, we hear it all the time, right? AI is coming for our jobs. But is it really? See, the whole conversation seems to be about full automation, about some AI agent that can just do everything you do. But what if that's the completely wrong way to look at it? What if we've been giving AI the wrong test all along? Well, stick with me, because a new research paper just put today's most powerful AI models through a totally different kind of exam, one that's much, much closer to what a real job actually looks like. And oh man, the results are pretty surprising.
So here's our game plan. First, we're going to talk about AI's huge blind spot when it comes to the business world. Then, I'll introduce you to something called WONDERBREAD. It's this new benchmark designed to fix that problem. After that, we'll break down the ultimate AI exam they created, reveal the pretty shocking report card for models like GPT-4, and finally, we'll tackle the big question: is AI's future role really as an assistant, not a total replacement?
Okay, so let's start with the problem. Right now, all the hype, all the buzz around AI in the workplace, it's pretty much laser-focused on this one super flashy goal: creating an AI agent that can just automate a whole workflow from start to finish.
But here's the reality check. According to this research, in a normal project to make a business run better, a whopping 60% of the time isn't even spent on automation. Nope. It's spent on the simple and, let's be honest, often boring task of just writing down how the work gets done in the first place.
You see the disconnect here? While all the headlines are screaming about AI agents that do everything for us, the day-to-day reality of most jobs is dominated by stuff like documenting processes, sharing knowledge with your team, and just finding little ways to make things run a bit smoother. By only focusing on that full automation dream, we're completely missing the bigger and arguably more important picture.
And that brings us to the solution these researchers came up with: WONDERBREAD. It's a brand new benchmark that they built from the ground up specifically to test AI on the tasks that actually matter in the business world. Tasks that go way, way beyond just, can you do this for me?
Now, to really get what WONDERBREAD is all about, you have to understand this term: Business Process Management, or BPM. It's just the fancy name for what we've been talking about. And notice the order here. You document, you measure, you improve, and only then, at the very end, do you automate. The real work is in all those first steps.
So to build this new test, the researchers couldn't just use some old data set. They had to create their own, and they went big. They had 13 people record almost 3,000 different videos of themselves doing hundreds of different online business tasks. And this is key. This wasn't AI-generated data. It was captured from real people doing real, messy, human work.
And check this out. This gives you a peek at what the AI gets to study for its exam. For every single one of those thousands of demos, the data set includes the full screen recording, a super detailed log of every single click and keystroke, key screenshots, and a step-by-step guide written by a human that's called a Standard Operating Procedure, or SOP. It's an incredibly complete picture of how to do one task.
All right, so we've got this massive human-made data set. Now for the exam itself. WONDERBREAD tests AI on tasks that reflect what businesses actually need. It's not just a simple pop quiz like, can you do this? No, it's much, much deeper than that.
The exam is basically broken into three main subjects that businesses really care about. First up, documentation. Can the AI watch a video of someone working and then write up a clear how-to guide? Second, knowledge transfer. Can it act like a helpful expert coworker and answer specific questions? And third, the really tricky one, improvement. Can it actually tell the difference between a good way and a bad way of doing something?
So let's zoom in on documentation. The first test is pretty straightforward. Watch a video, write the instruction manual. But the second one, demo segmentation, is tougher. It's kind of like watching a recording of someone's whole morning and being able to say, okay, from this point to this point, they were checking email. Then they switched to filing an expense report, and then they updated the sales forecast. It has to understand the boundaries between different tasks.
Next up, knowledge transfer. This is where the AI's real comprehension gets pushed. It has to answer specific questions like, hey, in step 5, why did the user click that button instead of the other one? And it also has to do something called validation, which means watching a demo and figuring out not just if the final goal was reached, but if the person followed the exact, precise steps to get there. And finally, we get to the PhD level part of the exam: improvement. For this one, the AI is shown 5 different videos of people doing the exact same task, and it's asked to rank them from best to worst. This is a test of its judgment. It's also given a really confusing, poorly written set of instructions and asked to watch the video and just write a better, clearer version.
So, that's the exam.
It's tough, it's nuanced, and it's all based on real-world business needs. The researchers then unleashed the top AI models. We're talking GPT-4, Claude 3, Gemini Pro, on this test. So, the moment of truth. How did they do?
This slide right here, this might be the single most important finding in the whole paper. When you ask the AI to do high-level stuff, like watch a video and summarize the main steps, it does pretty well. An 82 F1 score. That's like a solid B. But when you ask it to do low-level validation, to confirm if a very specific, precise sequence of steps was followed, the score absolutely tanks to 0.27. That is a hard F. It gets the gist, but it completely, totally misses the details.
And this is fascinating. It breaks down the AI's communication skills. Look at the high scores for clarity and compactness. That means the AI sounds really smart. Its answers are well written, they're to the point. But then look at the low scores for soundness and completeness. That means the answers are often just factually wrong or they're missing critical information. It's the classic case of style over substance.
And if you thought that was bad, check this out. Remember that test where the AI had to rank different ways of doing a task from best to worst? The correlation between the AI's ranking and a human's ranking was just 0.05. Now, to put that in perspective, a score of 1 would be a perfect match. A score of 0 is completely random. So, the AI's judgment on what makes a good workflow is no better than just flipping a coin. It has literally no sense of quality or efficiency.
So, after seeing all these results, what's the big takeaway here? The report card shows an AI that is, frankly, surprisingly good at some things and just shockingly bad at others. So let's break down what this really means for the future of our jobs.
You know, the results from this WonderBread exam aren't just about showing us what AI can't do. They actually give us a really clear roadmap for what needs to get fixed. So the big question is, where do we go from here? The paper points to 3 huge challenges ahead. First, we need to improve what's called human model alignment. Basically, we have to teach the AI what we mean when we say a process is good or efficient, because right now it clearly has no idea. Second, we need to expand their memory, their context windows, so they can handle longer, more realistic business workflows without forgetting what happened at the beginning. And third, and this is probably the biggest one, we've got to train them to obsess over those tiny, low-level details where they currently fail so badly.
And this brings us right back to where we started. The researchers behind WonderBread wrap it all up with this powerful statement. Their goal isn't to speed up the replacement of jobs. It's to steer the whole AI community toward building tools that augment us, that act as a helpful assistant for that huge 60% of our work that's all about documentation and improvement. Because based on this exam, AI is nowhere near ready to be a replacement. But it is showing real promise as a coworker, if we can just teach it to pay attention to the details.